All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. We are going to get right into this. I got to say, with all the crazy things that are happening right now in America, I mean, you got Democrats texting with Epstein. Zohran Mamdani just won the next New York mayoral race to be New York's next mayor. I mean, he is a Democratic communist, a Democratic socialist, as he likes to call himself. He's a terrorist sympathizer, hates billionaires, said he's going to target rich white neighborhoods, all things that he has said. And now you have, illegal immigrants flooding our country. Thank God you have Trump in office putting a stop to that, but not fast enough, because obviously you saw what happened, the tragedy that just happened. This illegal immigrant, this illegal Afghani who came under the Biden administration, shot 2 National Guard servicemen. And the one woman who he shot had just passed away, 20 years old. With all the crazy things that are happening right now in America, we still, to this day, have Black people complaining about racism, slavery, reparations. I'm going to get right to this debate with Jesse Lee Peterson debating this Black guy real quick. But I got to say, Black people, we are just as capable as white people if you apply yourselves. We don't need government assistance. We don't need government handouts. You can do it. Nobody cares about skin color anymore. Nobody says, oh my gosh, that guy's Black, ew. That guy's Black, oh, get away from me. Like, nobody cares about your skin color anymore. It's about the character. It's about your content of your character, who you are as a person, your values, your beliefs, your morals. That's what we as Americans care about. No one cares about your damn skin color anymore. I don't know, it's 2020, why are we still having these conversations? There are things that are concerning to Americans: border security, economy, single motherhood, putting your kids through college. These things matter. Gas prices, egg prices, these things matter. Nobody cares about the color of your skin, but we still have to have these crazy conversations. I don't know why, but we still do. But I'm going to get right into this debate with Jesse Lee Peterson, and you're going to see the victim mentality that is spewing out of this guy's mouth. This guy, he said he was born in the 50s, but it's crazy to me that we still are talking about slavery in 2025. We're going to get right into it.
Religious heritage is rooted in the regrettable experience of slavery.
You used to be a slave?
Yes, we used to be slaves.
You were a slave at one time?
No, I was not. I was born in the 1950s. So slavery was long gone.
Right.
Then. But I still experience the legacy of slavery.
How?
And
In
the
what way?
legacy of discrimination.
In what way?
When I experience barriers that exist simply because of the color of my skin, those barriers are still real and they still exist.
So how did you get?
I'm gonna pause this real quick, but I guarantee if this guy has kids, he's teaching his kids the same thing. That is why racism is still there. Why it still exists, because it's being taught. It's being taught. If you're Black, you're a victim. You can't make it. White people are oppressors. What's going on? Slavery, reparations. You need this. You need the government. It's just crazy that we still have these conversations right now. Nobody in America cares about your skin color. Anybody in America, if you apply yourself, you study, you work hard, you impress your boss, you'll get an opportunity to work. You don't need government assistance. You don't need DEI in this country.
1950s. So slavery was long gone.
Right.
But I still experience the legacy of slavery.
How?
And the legacy of discrimination.
In what way?
When I experience barriers that exist simply because of the color of my skin, those barriers are still real and they still exist.
So how did you get to APU and do all that, be the dean and do all that if barriers are in your way?
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's a miracle. That's a miracle.
Is it possible because they were not there? At least not from the white folks.
That who was not there?
Barriers were not there. It was all in your mind. It's not real.
Oh no, the barriers were there. The barriers are there even now. Even though I am associate dean and professor of New Testament, there's still some real barriers that you deal with.
When will Black people know that they are not there anymore? What do white people have to do to say, okay, Blacks, we gave y'all everything? Do you want the land?
I mean, this is a perfect question by Jesse. You would think that all Black people in America would sit there and say, wow, in 2008, We elected our first black president. Millions upon millions upon millions of white people, yes, white people, voted for Barack Obama. Wouldn't you as a black person say, wow, you know what? If there was any a year that racism was truly dead, it would be this time where we electing the black person to be the leader of the free world, the highest position, the most important job in the entire world. We elected a black man, and yet we still find ways to complain about racism. When is enough enough?
The land there, you'll be done.
You know, we'll know that these barriers are no longer there when we finally become fully human.
And how are you going to do that? By taking
But
the eyes of what?
In the eyes of white people.
So if white people just say to the black, y'all human, would you be satisfied?
No, it takes more than that. It takes more than that.
What else you want?
For one thing, it takes getting the knees off of our necks.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the end of things like racialized police brutality. When those kind of things disappear. When a young woman can be sitting in her house and not worry about police officers busting the door down
Who that?
and shooting her to death.
Who are you referring to?
Breonna Taylor.
Oh, that Taylor.
Okay, a little context about this story. Breonna Taylor was dating a drug dealer. Okay, her boyfriend was a drug dealer. They had a warrant. They came in, they knocked, opened the door, and the boyfriend started shooting at the police. What do you think is going to happen if you shoot at police officers? Well, they're going to shoot back. It's not the police officer fault that Breonna Taylor is dead. It's unfortunate, but it's Breonna Taylor's own decision-making dating a drug dealer that led to her death, unfortunately. It's not the police. Don't blame the police for that.
Did you know she was dealing with drug dealers?
It doesn't matter what people say she was dealing. It doesn't matter what she was dealing with.
It doesn't matter that she rented a car where a murder or something took
Nobody
place.
is going to walk into the house of a white woman and shoot her dead.
They didn't do that.
They didn't do what?
They knocked before they went in. The boyfriend or maybe even her shot at the cops.
No,
they didn't just walk in.
No, they busted the door down.
No, but they didn't just walk. It was a knock, and then they went in.
They did not identify themselves as police officers. True. The young man thought a woman.
When you say the young man, are you referring to the drug dealer?
This story right here is so disingenuous because it's making the police officer be the bad people. Okay, when you're dating a drug dealer. Okay, which Breonna Taylor was, dating a drug dealer. They had a warrant. They come into your property, and then you start shooting at the police. They have every right to defend themselves, okay? This guy is acting like the police just kicked the door down, targeted Breonna Taylor, and shot her to death. That's not what happened. But this, of course, this black man cannot come to the realization that, yes, it was a drug dealer that they were targeting, and Breonna was just a victim of circumstance, unfortunately.
That you were with?
No, I'm referring to her boyfriend. I don't know anything about his background. All I know is that there's no justification for this string of killings of black men and black women for no reason except to make a mistake.
Even if they're drug dealers, pushing drugs, criminals, and all that, they don't bring that up on themselves.
Okay.
As a preacher, hold on. Do they bring that on themselves by the way they live?
Well, white people seem to escape that.
That's not what I'm asking you.
You know, and there are white drug dealers, there are white gang members, but yet you don't hear of killing after killing after killing of unarmed black men and black women.
That's not true.
It is true.
No, it just.
That is the problem. That is what all the protests are about. The protests are not about police engagement with criminals.
As a preacher, I got to ask you this.
Okay.
As a preacher, called by God, sitting in the room, reading the word when God called you. As a preacher, does it matter their lifestyle? Can they possibly bring this upon themselves by the way they live?
Lifestyle does not bring murder upon someone.
If you're a drug dealer or
what? Wait, hold on. Did he just say that? So if I'm a big drug lord, people are out to kill me, lifestyle does not beget violence?
You're involved in drug dealing and you're doing criminal things, can you bring that upon yourself?
A lifestyle can lead to consequences.
So is it possible to tell a woman and whoever, Floyd or whatever his name was, brought that upon themselves based on their lifestyle. Is that possible?
No, not under these circumstances. It was racism that brought that.
That's right, guys. It wasn't the fact that he was a drug dealer and the officers had a warrant to arrest the drug dealer putting drugs on the street. It wasn't about that at all. They just said, you know what? We want to target some black people. How is this guy thinking that in 2025, after we elected Barack Obama, millions of white people voting for this man, how is he still in his mind justifying saying that, you know what? White people are still targeting black people. I think they did. The officers were like, hey, you know, we haven't had our quota of killing black people today. Let's go find a random black person. And it decided to pop on Breonna Taylor's house. It had nothing to do with the fact that he was a drug lord or he was selling drugs and putting it on the street and they had a warrant. It had nothing to do with that. It was about the color of his skin. Got it.
That consequence upon her.
Do you believe that white people discriminate against blacks?
Yes.
Do you discriminate?
No.
You never discriminate?
No.
You don't discriminate?
I don't discriminate against anyone on the basis of race.
Do you discriminate?
I have been discriminated against on the basis of race.
So you do discriminate?
Everybody discriminates.
How about you?
For example, I prefer to eat chicken rather than pork. That's discrimination. I'm in love with her.
But why do you fall in love with a white one? You discriminated.
No, I fell in love. I fell in love with my wife.
You dated a white woman before, right?
No, I never dated a white woman.
Why not?
That situation just never arose.
Because you discriminated.
I fell in love with somebody else.
Is being a white Christian different from being a black Christian?
Yes.
In what way?
Heritage.
What?
Heritage and
all black people think about is the color of their skin. Instead of thinking of them being American or them being a Christian, I need to be a black American. I need to be a black Christian. This is insane. Jesus did not say white Christians are different from black Christians or Arab. All Christians are the same. If you believe in me, you believe the word of God, you believe in the Trinity, that's all that matters. It doesn't care about skin color. So the fact that he thinks that you're different because you're a white Christian, I'm a black Christian, and I'm a victim is mind-blowing.
Experience.
And what do you mean by that?
Black people, even black Christians, have experienced a racial heritage and history in this country that white people have not experienced. In fact, white people have been responsible for black people experiencing this history and heritage. What does that have to do with being born of God? It has nothing to do with being born of God, because black people who are Christians are born of God also. But yet, despite the fact that they were Christian and born of God, they have been treated as subhumans. I agree with you that the Arab did treat them that way, because it's the blacks that sold Arab. It was the blacks that sold the Arab. I'm talking about racial history in the Americas. It was the blacks that sold the Arab. I mean, it was the blacks that sold other blacks to the Arabs over in Africa, Mummy Africa, then they went. And the Arabs sold the blacks around the world. I do.
See, and this is the problem that I have with this whole mindset. This guy thinks that white people are just the bad people. Okay. First of all, Africans sold black people. It's not like white people just said, hey, I'm going to steal you. No, they were sold by black people, okay, to Arabs, Europeans, and then they were brought over to the Americas. So I don't understand why everything is always bad white people. Not to mention, we know this by the 1830 and 1860 census, that there were 3,775 black people that owned slaves. They owned about 12,000 slaves. This is a historical fact. But yet it's always about the white people. White people are bad. It's not about the Arabs who are still enslaving people in Africa as of today. Arabs are still enslaving people in Africa as of today, but they don't talk about that. It's just the white people for whatever reason.
I agree with that. So they were treated cruelly for that reason.
Now you're blaming the victim. The legacy.
How are the Arabs
the legacy?
Who are the victims? The Arabs that bought them, or the blacks that sold them?
Chattel slavery and the Middle Passage are the responsibility of European and European Americans.
What? There were black people who owned slaves here in this country.
No, there were
there were.
No, black people did not own slaves. Now.
So you're really saying that a white Christian is different than a black Christian?
Yes, I mean, Christianity does not occur in a cultural vacuum. All Christian expressions are cultural expressions of Christianity. There's no such thing as an absolute value neutral, culturally neutral Christianity. That is a myth.
This guy is a preacher. Imagine a white person going to his church for the first time, broadening their horizon, wanting to see a different church, and listening to this guy's sermon. And this guy says, you white Christians, you're different from us because we are victims of our heritage, of our lineage, of you selling us. Imagine that. God doesn't care about your skin color. Christians don't care about your skin color, whether you're white or Hispanic or you're black. It's about Christianity and loving God and having that common factor of I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Holy Ghost. That is what I believe in. I don't care about your skin color. But yet this preacher is telling white people that you're different from me because of the victim mentality that I have, because of my heritage. That makes us different Christians. It makes no sense.
If you find
if
you find a culturally neutral Christianity, that's just white Christianity pretending to be culturally neutral. All Christianity is some type.
Where you get all Christianity is what?
All Christianity is some type of cultural expression.
Where you get all this from?
It's history. It's history. It's study. You just read.
Do you love white people?
Yes, I do.
You love white people?
I love all people.
Oh,
that's what God teaches us to do.
Do you love white people?
You shall love everybody. We do not have the luxury of hating anybody.
That's true. Do you love
Martin
white
Luther
people?
King Jr.
All right, here we go. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm done with this guy. Unfortunately, right now, that's what a lot of black people think. And what's funny to me is that they don't even think of themselves as equal. They try to sit there and say, we're not equal. We're not equal. White people are above us. White people are oppressing us. White people, like he said, have their knee on our neck and we're victims. Why can't they just think, why can't black people right now say, we are just as good as you? We can do the same jobs as you. We can do the same work as you. We don't need government handouts. We don't need DEI. But whatever reason, you have people like this teaching other black people in his ministry, the young black youth, that white people have oppressed you. Mind you, slavery was done in the 1800s. Okay. Civil Rights Act was in what, 1964? And we're still complaining about white people and oppression and victim mentality, and we can't make it here, and all the white Christians are different. This is a terrible mindset. Black people, listen, you can do whatever you want to do in this country without having the government say that you're a victim or the Democratic Party telling that you're a victim. You can do it if you work hard, if you have the right mentality, you study hard, you do all the things that can propel you to be successful in whatever job market you want. You can do it. I guarantee if a white CEO or a white boss gives you an opportunity, it's because you worked hard for it, that you proven yourself more than your competitors, which are all your counterparts, which are all your coworkers, okay? Because all of you guys are probably wanting the same promotion. But if you put in more hours, you put in more work, you stay later. You're not the first one to leave at 5 p.m. just because it hits 5 p.m. You stay later and your boss sees that. I mean, one of the best abilities is availability. If you're always available, your boss always calls you, hey, look, I need you to stay later for me. Can you stay an extra 30 minutes? And you say, yeah, sure, no problem. I guarantee you're going to get some type of promotion. At one point in time, nobody cares about your skin color. Corporations want the best. They don't care about your white, your black, Hispanic. They don't care about that. Anybody in America can do it and work hard and get the same opportunity and make a lot of money in this country. It is not about skin color. And the fact that we still have these stupid conversations with so many things going on around our country about, borders and all these illegal immigrants flooding our country and, tariffs and all this other stuff. The economy is the only thing right now that we should be talking about. Putting our kids through college. Gas prices, egg prices, groceries, all this other stuff that affect every single American. What's the interest rates, on a house or on a car? Can I afford this? Affordability is huge right now. But yet we're still having these conversations that hold us back. And we're talking about skin color. And I want to say right now, white people, please do not give into this, okay? Do not have white guilt. You are not responsible for slavery, okay? You are not, no white person alive right now was a slave owner. No black person alive was a slave in America. So we don't need to have these conversations. White people should not be paying reparations. We should just focus on and say it happened, just like the Holocaust. It happened. Now the Jewish people are one of the most wealthiest racial groups in America. And I don't have any Jewish friends of mine talking about the Holocaust, which was a lot more recent than slavery. So I don't even know what's going on. We need to move past it and just say, we are one, we are equal. Let's move on together. Hopefully it happens soon, but this is what the Democratic Party preaches, and this is why black people keep voting Democrat, because Democrats keep telling black people that you're the victim, white people oppress you, you need our vote because the conservatives are racist, Donald Trump is racist, and all this other bull crap, which is not true, because we do know that Donald Trump gave to Jesse Jackson, which is a black man, presidential campaign in 84 and 88. Donald Trump actually wanted Jesse Jackson to win. This is not something that you're going to hear on CNN or MSNBC, but Donald Trump gave his own money to Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign. What racist person would give his own hard-earned money to a black person? But I guarantee no one talked about him being racist when he was hanging out with Oprah. But when did he start becoming racist? When he went down the escalator and declared that he was a Republican. So I don't know. We just I hope white people just finally wake up and start saying, look, I'm not going to be feeling bad anymore. I was not a slave owner. I am not responsible for what happened 150 years ago. We need to move on and move past it. And black people, hopefully one day, the Democrats start waking up and say, we got to stop voting for Democrats because they're lying to us. They keep telling us that we're victims. Anybody in America can be what they want to be as long as they work hard for it. That's the message. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.